Okay, today's the day. This is going in this, and it's gonna go well.
It will.
Phase 2! Finally!
What was phase 1?
Phase 1 was like prepping the van, making sure the van wasn't going to rust through and drop us on the floor when we were driving. It wasn't a very interesting phase, and I'm really excited for phase 2.
2 phases. 2 people. 1 van.
God. No, phase 2 is way more exciting because phase 2 is like insulation, actually getting in the framework for the build, and it's gonna start feeling like a house now.
So what's on phase 2?
We're gonna start with some sound deadening, then we're gonna insulate.
Insulation.
Then it's electrics, then cladding, and then it's the interior.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so fun.
This is gonna be so much longer than this, but you know, I can dream. Let's do some work.
Oh.
So this is gonna be our sound deadening. It's not actually sound deadening. It's flash band. So it's stuff that you would put on your, I don't know, shed if it was leaking. It's super sticky, but it does actually soak up some of those vibrations. So what we're gonna do is cut strips of it. We're gonna stick them in the middle of the panels, and we're going to cover them over with insulation afterwards. But those little strips will cut out the reverberations as we're driving. It's not gonna make any difference with us being loud and you hearing it outside, but what it will do is stop the driving noise and will make it quieter for us on the inside. I took a really big gulp.
It's upside down. You're a bit more flash dance than flash band, aren't you?
Go. How?
1 minute, I'm reading.
It takes him a while.
Shut your face. We're going to start with these panels here. So we've gone for a, how thick is it? Maybe 100mm. We're just going to put a bit of a strip in the middle of each one, just to stop any reverberation. These are fairly small panels, so it's not too bad. So we're just going to put a little strip in the middle. That should help protect us from it. Like that.
We don't know what we're doing. So we're going to experiment. This is like flatter, like a flatter sound.
Do we think that's more efficient than that? That's covering more
flat space.
Flat panel than that. What have we got there?
Bitumen.
What are we using it for?
Sound deadening, because we're cheap asses.
How much is it for a roll?
About 10 quid, as opposed to like 110 quid with actual sound deadening.
Exactly.
How much is sound deadening? I don't actually know.
Not that much.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Sure. I thought I was exaggerating.
No.
So this is way cheaper and does the same job, so yeah. We run out. Yeah, we have sound deadened this wheel arch, and we think this is probably the best place to hear the difference. So we're gonna do another sound test. So this is without. You can hear it kind of reverberating, and this is with. Restocked and ready to go. It's really hot. It is literally 31 degrees today, so we're very sweaty, and this stuff is like proper malleable now. Still very satisfying though. Right.
So we're peeling that sticky side off, sticking it onto all the panels. Beautifully demonstrated. Badly filmed.
It's hard because the roof has tons of ridges in, so you've got to make sure you're leaving enough slack to get into those ridges, but not too much slack that it causes sort of wrinkles, because if you have wrinkles it's not as effective.
But what really helps this whole process is that it's 30 degrees.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier.
10 out of 10, good job.
Pros use like a roller to get rid of all the air bubbles, but we just use Max's fist. So we've done most of the ceiling now, but we still have to do the cab. Now, the cab is going to have a much higher percentage of sound deadening in, because obviously we're spending a lot of time there and we want it to be quiet and chill. So what we're going to do is, in the top area here, so there will be a headliner shelf, but we're going to put big strips in here. And down here, we're going to try and fill a lot of these gaps with the sound deadening, because that is the engine. It's literally right there. So we need to make it quiet.
So there you can see our soundproof floor and ceiling in the cab area.
It's not soundproof, it's sound deadened.
And we're going to buy some thinner stuff to put on the doors, but we're going to work on the back doors now.
So we've had a crazy hot couple days, which means we've had to like abandon our list. We were dying in here. So Wednesday was a complete write-off. It's like 32 degrees. And then today it's going to be super busy. We need to get the interior roof cleaned off so we can finish off the sound deadening. We need to jack up the front, finish the gas line, and then get the cab matting and the seats back in. And that means we can do this. But we're thinking this might take too long, so this has to be on Friday. Wish us luck. So we've pickled off most of this stuff. I mean, not all of it. We better go at some of this wood as well, but honestly, we're just gonna leave it. The insulation.
We're covering it up anyway and we'll never see it again. Next we're gonna put our driver and passenger seat boxes back in. Because we have to do a bit of stuff under the van to get them bolted in. While we've got the front jacked up anyway.
So the floor matting is now in, so that's sound deadening, extra layer of sound deadening in the mat itself, and now we get the seat boxes in. Cool.
Awesome.
I just wanted to see that your analness. And this is why I love him, because we can get this in super easy.
Passenger seat box. And then next job is...
buy a swivel seat. We can't afford a swivel seat.
Next job is...
not buying a swivel seat. I don't know, what's the next job?
Insulation, man.
Oh my god, insulation! Insulation. Yeah. Max is having a strop. Why is Max having a strop? Oh.
It's not stuck.
He's trying to fix the ashtray. Not that we need an ashtray.
Because I put all the glue here, and actually it doesn't actually touch that. Look at all these bits of glue I put on, and actually it only touches it on the ridges.
Big brain.
Big man brains. Oh no, I've done that. It's hardly ideal.
We'll just have it black and metally.
It's plastic and it's broken.
Ooh.
Yeah, but that being on there stops that happening.
It's going really well.
It's not. It's insulation day.
Yay!
We've gone for Ecotherm sheet insulation because we got a good deal on it and no other reason. We've got it in 1 inch and 2 inch thick. The 2 inch stuff we're putting on the roof, the 1 inch stuff we're putting on the walls. So we're gonna give that a go now.
Yes. Let's go. Okay, first things first, we need to unwire all the lovely LED lights that Max put in. There are working lights, and now they need to disappear so we can insulate. So now what we're doing is putting the lights back in because we forgot to hammer out this nice big dent up in the ceiling here. So we're gonna do that first and then we're gonna put the insulation in, we promise. So we still don't have light and now we have a nice oozing scalp wound. Wonderful. How are you feeling?
10 out of 10.
No. Oh dear. So now we don't have lights and we haven't bashed that out, but we do have foam protected door, I don't even know what they are, door rails, yay! So no more bleeding. Yay. So we've got a bit done, not a lot, but a bit, and we've rage quit. So now we're gonna go home. It doesn't want to fit in the holes. And it's late, because we did too many things before we started. But we're getting there. It's time to go home.
What are you doing?
Cutting the insulation for you.
What have I done? Measured it. What are you doing? Everything else.
I'm only cutting it because you get angry and start ripping it up. I did a bit of a strop yesterday, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
To be fair, he hit his head, so...
I was concussed.
Yeah, he was. Well, concussed? It was a little scratch.
I was shook.
Well, actually do have it on film. I was filming him at the time.
Insert footage here. So what you're doing, you're scoring the insulation.
Scoring. And then... like so. It's real easy. Way easier than like sawing it.
Had to give you a blunt knife, didn't we? Because you're under the age of 10.
Ta-da!
And today on Sophie in her van.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Trying to do some insulation without killing you.
What are you
Going
talking
well.
about?
It's one of those things like putting a tent up. You know when you test your relationship, insulation, add it to the list. No, I love you really. Starting to look like a spaceship.
What are you thinking?
I'm warm.
Good. You'll keep that heat in.
Such a pleasant sound. Yeah, boy. So the next layer of insulation is going to be the stuff. It's like fluffy, recycled plastic bottle insulation. And we're gonna shove it in the crevices around the van, aren't we?
Yes, we've done the full on all the big panels that we can, and all the kind of little gaps and the beams in between. We're gonna stuff as much in there as we can. Oh, it's quite light, soft, should fill the spaces, and it's recycled plastic bottle insulation from B&Q.
Lovely. Thank you, glamorous assistant. And we're trying not to compress it too much, because if you compress it loads, it loses its R value, because it uses the air gaps. But I don't know if I can manage to get it all the way down. Can you give it a go? Ah, yamming tool for yamming it in.
I don't know, you can see it all at the bottom here.
Okay, well if it's down at the bottom. Cool. I don't know why it's so satisfying.
What you got there?
A piece of insulation that keeps falling out. Again and again and again.
Well, that's alright. What are we doing today?
we're finishing the insulation. So we've got some little side bits that we've missed, like here, because they're awkward, so we left them and we came back today to do it. And the back, so everything at the back at the top, and the doors as well. And then we've got to tape everything. There's also a vapor barrier, and we need to clear some space because the lockup's getting used, so we have to tidy everything. So busy day today.
Let's smash it.
Yeah. Did you put it in this way? Like that? You're just filming my chins. I can't do it! Ah! Oh, don't film it. It's gone all wrong and wonky.
What are you trying to do?
Trying to stop all the little pieces from falling out because we had to like jigsaw the heck out of it. Look at this. What is that?
By jigsaw you mean like puzzle, not the tool, right?
Yeah, a puzzle.
Not like
a jigsaw, no. Like oh, this is ridiculous. It's now going on the floor because I put it too long. Shut up! Well, I mean, in theory this is vapor sealing, but we're not doing it properly right now because we're going to put a second vapor seal round. So what we're actually doing is using very expensive tape to just stick the insulation in. But you know what? It's all good. So yeah, we've basically done our insulation. It has been shoved in, squished in, it is tight. Some of it's been taped. I've sliced my fingers with this freaking tape. And the only thing left is the vapor barrier. But we didn't want to do that today. So what we did instead was put this back in. So we now have a skylight, which is lovely. And it just pushes up. So we've got ventilation and it's nice and big and bright. So this end of the van is going to be super light and airy and I'm really excited about that. We've got a lot of other things we need to do.
Big list.
We've got a very big list. Big list. The other thing we did do today though is buy a sink. And it was a very complicated process involving a guy in Huddersfield and my grandparents. But it is done. There is a sink that is going to be winging its way to us at some point. We might have to wing our way to the sink.
What kind of sink is it?
Oh, it's a black Belfast sink. So it's completely impractical and it weighs an absolute ton. But Max really liked it. So.
It's pretty.
It's pretty. So that's what we're getting.
Screw the budget?
Screw the budget. So today we're finally fitting our vapor barrier. So it's going to go over the insulation, it's going to create a seal so that any of the condensation that happens is going to happen on this and not on the bare metal of the van. So hopefully it'll reduce the amount of rust that happens. Oh, come on! Instructions.
Sophie Brooke, spray adhesive master.
It's so cold. Oh dear.
So because our back doors have been converted into this, instead of two traditional doors that open out to the side, ours raises up to the top with hinges at the top and then gas struts on either side. We're not quite sure how the door is going to seal when it meets the van, which is why we've left this with space to get to it for now, so we can work out a bit of a solution, probably involving sort of like filling out to where the door's going to meet and then a rubber kind of gasket around it, so when the door presses on it, it compresses the gasket and creates a nice watertight seal.
Whee! Yay!
What have you done today?
Finish the vapor barrier.
And that is a wrap on our insulation.
Finally done. It's finally done.
Most of it, few finishing touches. So we've done the vapor barrier now on top of all the insulation.
What have we learned?
What have we learned?
We learnt the foil tape is horrible.
If you've got delicate hands.
It sliced me up. We learnt that putting a vapor barrier will test your relationship.
But it looks really good when it's finished.
It is like a spaceship or a baked potato. Hopefully it means we will never have to deal with the interior of the insulation going all rotten and horrible. So,
yeah,
touch wood, that's all good. So thanks for watching along. You know the drill. Like, subscribe down here.
And all the thumbs up.
Smash that thumbs up.
On that note, we'll see you next week.
Bye!
Bye!